Mount Amidagamine in Kyoto. There are a number of temple buildings at the base of the mountain. Every morning, the voices of monks chanting sutras echo throughout the precincts. The teachings of Kobo Daishi Kukai, the founder of the Shingon school of Buddhism, have been handed down over many generations. "1,200 years ago, Kobo Daishi Kukai established a Buddhist seminary on Mount Koya to spread the teachings of the Shingon school of Buddhism. He entered into eternal meditation on Mount Koya on March 21st, 835. 300 years later, a monk appeared. His name was Kogyo Daishi Kakuban. Kakuban entered into Mount Koya at the age of 20. In those times, religious faith on Mount Koya had been in decline. Wishing to reverse this trend, Kakuban established Daiden Boing, a place for Buddhist study on the mountain. There, Kakuban tried to revive the teachings of Kobo Daishi Kukai. However, he faced resistance from monks who were opposed to his ideas. Being forced to leave Mount Koya, Kakuban moved to Mount Negoro in Wakayama. There, he pursued his Buddhist studies and also taught his disciples. He passed away into nirvana in 1143 at the age of 49, watched over by his many disciples. In 1288, Daiyu Sojo, one of Kakuban's disciples, relocated Daiden Boing to Mount Negoro. This is the beginning of Negoroji Temple. The Negoroji Temple flourished as a place for study. It is said that there were about 6,000 monks studying at the temple during its golden age. Many temples were built around Daiden Boing on Mount Negoro. One of them, Chishakuin Temple, was the most important temple for the education of monks in the Shingon school of Buddhism. Later, Negoroji Temple gained a powerful religious influence. At the end of the age of civil wars in medieval Japan, the temple found itself conflict with Toyotomi Hideyoshi, a feudal lord who was trying to bring the country under his rule. Attacked by Toyotomi's army, most of the buildings on Mount Negoro, including Chishakuin Temple, were burned down in 1585. After a few decades, Chishakuin Temple was reconstructed in Higashiyama, Kyoto. It was rebuilt by Genyu Sojo, the head priest of Chishakuin Temple at the time. Genyu Sojo managed to escape from Mount Negoro to Mount Koya when the temple was destroyed. He moved around the temples in Kyoto with the hope of reviving the Chishakuin Temple. In 1601, Genyu Sojo was granted a portion of land and buildings within the grounds of Toyokuni Shrine in Higashiyama, Kyoto, by Tokugawa Ieyasu, the shogun who had succeeded in bringing Japan under his rule. Chishakuin Temple was rebuilt and is still located on this land today. Genyu Sojo formally renamed the temple Iobusan Negoroji Chishakuin. He included Negoroji in the name in consideration of its history. When a monk known as Nichiyo Sojo served as the third head priest of the Chishakuin Temple, the temple was entrusted with Shounji Temple from the Tokugawa shogunate, with which the temple expanded its precincts. The wall paintings, which still remain at the temple, were also bestowed at this time. In the early Edo era, the seventh head priest of the temple, Unsho Sojo, established the Chisan doctrines. Chishakuin Temple was referred to as Chisan, or Mountain of Wisdom, and a large number of monks came to the temple to study authentic Shingon esoteric Buddhism. Unsho Sojo developed and organized the precincts, and many buildings were built there, including Mitsugondo Hall. The temple's garden was also refurbished and came to be referred to as the finest garden in Higashiyama. In those days, Chishakuin Temple served as what would now be called a university. People were able to study not only Buddhism, but also a diverse range of subjects such as astronomy and geology. Chishakuin Temple has experienced some difficult times. The anti-Buddhist movement occurred from the end of the Edo era to the beginning of the Meiji era, and the Kondo main hall of the temple was destroyed by fire. In 1900, during these difficult times, about 3,000 temples from across the nation united with Chishakuin Temple at their center. Here, Chishakuin Temple was designated as the main head temple of the Chisan school of Shingon Buddhism. After World War II, buildings of the temple, including the Kondo main hall and the Kodo lecture hall, were rebuilt and repaired. The temple continues to expand and reorganize its precincts. The Chisan school of Shingon Buddhism is a Buddhist sect regarding Kobo Daishi Kukai as its founder and Kogyo Daishi Kakuban as its restorer. The principal Buddha worshipped by the Chisan school is Kongokai Dainichi Nyorai. Major temples belonging to the Chisan school of Shingon Buddhism include Shinpukuji Temple, designated as Branch Temple, Narita-san Shinshoji Temple, Kawasaki Daishi Heikenji Temple, and Takao-san Yakuoin Temple as major head temples, as well as Takahata-san Kongoji Temple and Osu Kannon Hoshoin Temple as special head temples. Other than these, there are approximately 3,000 sect temples and seminaries across the nation. The temple still continues to add new pages to its history as an educational institution, as well as for Shingon esoteric Buddhism training.